Okay, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Isaac, can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning. I can hear you. I can hear you clearly.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, so we'll start 19 on the dot so we can cover a lot since it's just 1 hour.
I thought it's from 9 to 12.
No, we've changed it now. That's why. Do you see the poll? The poll on the score? The poll on the group chat that had another day on it.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I think Thursday was.
yeah, Thursday. My laptop is currently like the battery goes down fast. I think the battery life has reduced. So we just have to like plan another time so that this cover up the normal allotted period of time because my laptop battery just goes off all of a sudden. Also, I think it's about 1 hour or not to that. So on my part, I'm sorry about that, but
Yeah, no
I'll
problem.
try to make up. Yeah. Okay, I guess it's almost it's night 10 already. So let's go straight into it. Yeah, Ovie, can you remind us about what you did in last class?
Good morning, everybody. In the last, I cannot really say what we did last time because my network was freezing out, and I'd not actually gone through the recording.
Oh, okay. Okay. Isaac, I'm not sure you were in the last class. We're in the last class. By the way, can you all see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Um, okay, so yeah. The last class we looked at React.js 6 components, React components, React class, and that's where we stopped. So we just looked at the JSS syntax, how to create a React component, how to use a component, how you can nest a component inside another component, the React, how to create a React class, and so on. So for today, let's go straight into today's work, and today's work will be on React props. React props. So props are arguments passed into React components. Props are passed into the component via HTML attributes. So this prop just stands for properties, and it's just like your arguments in your functions. That's just the idea I want to give you. Since React is more of like functional programming, where everything is divided into its own function. Props is just like your arguments in your function, where you pass it in and it's within your function. And I want you to remember that folks, must go arguments in your function or how they are either like scoped to that function alone or functions inside that function. So just take note of that. So React props are like function arguments here in JavaScript and attributes in HTML. To send a props into a component, use the same syntax as HTML attributes like this. Remember your attributes, the name and the value. That's the same if you send props. So they give us an example here to use the brand or Moscow. A brand this in props is passing through this component, and to use it, we just or to access it, we just use the keyword props, and then the props we want to access, so props dot brand. Let's check those. So you can see this is the elements car, and that's a prop of brand, a prop name brand, and the value is Ford. So once you pass in props into this, you'll see that you can access brand from the props being passed. If there was another props, let's see, I don't know why I can't access it. Let's say there was another props like color, wherever, we need to pass access it by doing props dot color and so on. But there's a better way of doing this, but let's just continue for now. So pass data, yeah, are also props are also how you pass data from one component to another as parameters. So look at example of brand. To like we wanted to send the brand data from outside the component to the component. This is component to use props. Yeah. So if you have a variable to send and not a string, as in the above example, you can just put the variable name inside curly brackets like this and it still works. So instead of putting your string in, you can just put variable name. Yeah. And if there's an object, you can store the object inside a variable and just put the variable. Still the same stuff. So yeah. So Isaac, are you here? Hello, Isaac.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I
Yeah,
I was actually doing something.
sir.
I was actually doing something before. I'm hearing you.
Okay, please. I want us to like concentrate. What to be the answer for this exercise?
Which one is the correct way of saying it? It will be the first one
Why?
because the components we are passing the props into the component like we are passing it like a property. So it will be
Okay,
the first one.
okay, like an attribute. So, what is the name of the prop for person?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember we said on Moscow we passing prop like you said you're correct. Like the first time we passing it into the elements as an attribute, like the passing HTML attributes. But remember, like they always paired into name and value. So the name of the prop is first name and the value is John. That just is yeah. So next thing on that React is React events. So just like HTML DOM events, React can perform actions based on user events. React has the same events as HTML. All those click, change, mouse over, and so on. Sure. So adding events, React events are written in camel case syntax. I'm sure you all know the difference between camel case and Pascal case. Um, yeah, camel case and Pascal case. So I think Pascal case is the first one capital, and for each word capital, while camel is the first one, the first letter of the first word lowercase, and the first letter of the remaining words capital case. So now you're adding events in React like on click now, just on click like this instead of doing it like this. Then you put your value inside curly brackets. So this is an example. Button on click shoot, take the shot, and probably there's a function for that. While in HTML we have done it for like this, but in React we do it like this. So let's look at this example. Yes, so Ovi, can you explain this code?
Alex, everybody hearing me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so first of all, we defined a function football,
Yeah.
and we told it that it should if clicks or if the function is called, it should return an alert of great shots. So then we added the on-click event to the button elements so that when clicked, because on-click is for when you click on the button. So when clicked, it calls the function shoot. Sorry, okay, I said football. If a function, we define a function called shoot, that's when it is called, it gives an alert of great shots. So we can call an on-click event on the button for the function shoots that when we click on it, it calls the alert.
Yeah, cool. So we create a function or a component called football, and the the function returns a this thing, a React component of a elements button, and then we click on the button. We have a Moscow a function inside the component that renders. So when you click on it, we just get this alert. So you're correct. So you can see that this works like on click, and React actually simple. Like this is just the format. So we return it on click, and this can go like far from for every other of I think there's on mouse over on I can't remember the rest right now, but they're lot sure. So yeah, and passing in arguments. So passing in arguments to events handlers, you can use arrow function. So like for example, for this, instead of um hard coding shoots like coding it like we did here, you can just pass in an argument over here. So the same way you pass in your arguments in your function, then just put it here and use an arrow function for it. And if you want to do multiple or most call functions, you can just put, I think it's a call, no, you can just put your normal brackets and just put in as much functions as you want to put inside it. And that's it basically. So React events objects. Yeah. Event handlers have access to the React events that triggers the functions. In an example, the event the event is the click event here, and this is it. Yeah, this is like with event handlers access to React. Okay, yeah, so when an event is done, like whoever wants to happen, like just happens to the event and so on. Yeah, so when just represents the React event that is triggered, that triggered the functions, and in this case is click. So I guess when we checked out, like the events will just pop up. So take it short, and you can see that this is the event, like it's the click event that popped up. So that's what just event does. Just like get the type of events that way. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, this will come. We use this mostly in forms like on change and whatever. Sure. So let me see who's on the call. What's on the call? Abdul Basit. Please, what's the answer to this one? Al Basit.
I'm coming. I'm trying to understand the question.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, the third option.
Okay. Why is it third option?
The function is in camel casing, and the argument is inside a colibri.
Okay. Correct. That's correct. So nice one now. So let's look at conditionals. So in yeah. So React conditional rendering. In React, you can conditionally render components, and there are several ways to do this. You can use the if statement, like the normal if statements used in JavaScript, and you can use the if statements, yeah, the if JavaScript operator to decide which components to render, like missed a goal, made a goal. So if his goal is true, then we will render made a goal, else missed a goal. We return made a goal, else we return missed a goal, and that's what they're doing here. If you check it out, you can see. Can we change this? Oh, you can see it's missed because this is false. Like the props are passing in to go. The props is go is false, as is false for now. And yeah, so you try changing is go to true, but I don't know. Mm, I can't take this here. But if you change this to true, okay, they have another example. If you change this to true, you can see that we get go now. So what this is just doing that we have two functions separate from the main app, which is go. Then we are passing inside this one. You're by conditionally rendering each of these almost call components. Let's call the components. Each of these components are well conditionally rendering them, and the condition we're using to render them is this props is go. So we just what they're just doing here, they're storing is go inside. They're storing props is go inside is go this thing. So avoid them from clicking from using props is go several times or rewriting props is go since it's longer and just checking for the condition. So once this is true, just the same way your if statement works, you render there will be return made go and when false return missed go. So yeah, we also have this logical operator, and this is like my best view of just doing this thing, especially when you have just one statement, like one if statement. So this is just another way to render a real component, and by using the and logical operator, and which is just this double and sha, and you can embed JavaScript expressions in GXS using curly brackets. You look at that last class where you can just put this to show that it's a JavaScript expression. So what this and just does is once the condition on this side is true, it renders the condition on the left hand side, and that just all. Like when you start writing if statement whatever, once this is true, it just renders what is on this side. So let's look at an example. So cast.length is greater than 0. Where is cast.length? Cast, okay, we can see cast is an array. I'm passing cast into garage components. So cars.length will be 3 and it's greater than 0. So you have 3 cars in your garage. And I think, yeah. So now the same code, but this time cars is an empty array. So you can see that this does not render since this is false. Like this condition is false. So that just is basically. Then we have the ternary operator. So ternary operator, I remember I said this I think last week Saturday. So it's just condition question mark. Then what should happen if it's true? Colon and what should happen if it's false? So yeah. So just like it makes your code like neater to write and more readable. So if you compare this like this return this for still for that is go stuff and compare it to this. I see this one just over the place, but this is like easy to read, like just one line. And sometimes it can even get it can even get more messy. Like when this is very large, like when your condition, what you want to happen is very large. So yeah. So does anyone have any question before we continue?
So I have a question.
Okay.
That part,
Yeah.
the ternary operator, after is go, you have to render if is go is true, then pass the function mid go. What if we have like four different cases
Okay, 4 different cases.
instead of mid go and miss go only? What if we have
Okay.
two other ones on to pass?
Okay, so if you had like a one score, like you're trying to ask me like a kind of way of doing like Elif.
What do you
Elif,
say?
I'm already missing Python. A kind of way of doing else if, right? Like
Yes,
if you had
yes.
this, yeah. So for that one, we just nest it. Oh, let me open my notepad. Yeah, for that one, we just nest it. So for that one, we just do condition, checking the condition is true, then colon, then another condition. then check if it's true, then check if it's false. But we can still keep on going. Like if you want to keep on going, just put another condition, then check if it's true, then what happens if it's false. So this is just like your if and else. So remember your if you have if, then if you have this thing, a condition, then else if we have a condition, then else if we have a condition, then else not have any condition. That's just how it is. To condition, first condition if, then if it's true, do what is inside here. Then second one, like if it's not true, that's just how this one is. If this is true, it's render something, blah 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 blah. Then if this is not true, it's now look at all this. So if this is not true, it's look at all this, like what's after the colon. So it means another condition again. If it's true, it renders what is here, blah blah blah. If it's not true, it looks at all this. The same thing with this one. If this is not true, now again, it looks at all this. So you miss another condition again. If it's true, it renders what is here. Then if it's not true, since you don't have any other condition, just false. It just does what is here. So that just it. Do you understand?
All right. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, can someone answer this one?
The first
Um, I-
one.
The first one, already. Yes, the first one is correct. So remember that we said for this and operator, once this is true, this will take place, and on this false, this not take place. So this rendering is dependent on where the value of this, whether it's true or false. That just it basically. So you're correct. So we're going to list now. In React, you render lists with some type of loop, and the JavaScript map array is JavaScript map array method is the general preferred method, and it's what I've been using since I started. So do we all know what the map array is for? Like the map method is for, sorry.
Yeah, prevent to prevent writing code repetitively. Like just having a map, then another um uh, another I call it function that gets those objects from the original map. I don't know how to
Okay,
explain it.
okay. I think I think I get what you're trying to say, and I think you're going the right path, sure. So what the map does is that it just loops through the array and create another distance for each of the elements in the array, modifies each of the elements in the array based on what is given in the array. So that's just what the maps function does. For example, now for cars, right? We have an array of cars, and now we want to map through cars. Then inside for each car, by modifying each element in the array now, we want each car to be its own car component. That is this component. So this component should return a list with the car brand passed as a prop. So when we do that, we're going to see that each car now, each element in this list is being modified to be this. Being modified to be this. So and it's just going to be like this. It's just going to be passed into the DOM. You can see for each car, we're going to have a list. So I am a Ford, I'm a BMW, I'm an Audi, and that's just what map is for, basically. So yeah, keys allow React to keep track of elements. This way, if an element is deleted or removed, only that item will be re-rendered instead of the entire list. Keys need to be unique to each sequence, but they can be duplicated globally. Yeah. So generally, the key should be a unique ID assigned to each item. As a last result, you can use the array index as a key. Yeah. So what this key just does was, I say it does. What this key just does for us is allows allows React like be able to manage this mapping properly. So if anything is changed over here, like it does not have to render everything again, but just change that particular key or what it changed, and it allows it to keep track. Sha. So most times people use the ID, like the ID of your using code that is stored in the what's called database as a key. But sometimes you can just use your index directly. So you can just manufacture your index, like because your index will always be different. So just use something that will only be different as your key so that you have to know that okay, this is for a different stuff, this for a different stuff, this for a different stuff, this for a different stuff. Unless it's a track error. So yeah, so which is not a correct statement. Which is not correct statement. Keys can be the array index. Keys cannot be a
Sorry,
number.
sorry, please. Hello, sorry, thank.
Yeah, yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah, please, is it like how do I use the index if I intend to use the index as
Yes,
to map for the keys?
yeah. So if you tend to use index, you can just okay. Let me clear this. So let's use this cars again. Cars dot map um car um then
I think the parameter will be car comma I.
yeah car comma index. But there are different ways you can do it though. So um then car. Let's say just car. Let's forget about this thing. Sorry. Then we can add key equals to car plus ID car index plus one. So you can have like someone said earlier. I bet who said that? So, so may I just know.
I'm new Isaac.
Okay, Isaac. I don't feel see your name. Now why I talk so you can just do this index to zero, or you can just put it globally. Maybe you just put it somewhere around there. You can just wrap all this and put yeah before this map, you can just put your index, you can just define your index. Yeah, also. So you just like normal this thing, as long as you can define your index somewhere, then you can just keep on incrementing it inside here as a key. And this should not even be it should be is plus equals to plus equals to I'm not really sure about this. But I'll get back to you on this. I'm not sure about this right now. Um, the plus
Should be plus
equals
one.
plus one, I mean, just plus one.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay, now, but I'll confirm, sure. Yeah, so that just is basically
Okay,
so
thank you.
index. Yeah, people use index a lot, especially when you are like listing stores and you have to like list them orderly where you want to put their numbers, maybe like serial number and so on. Because in your database, it may not be there. Maybe the ID in your database is your normal UUIDs kind of stuff, all those just random strings. But you want the user to be able to see like the other lineage. So the user will be able to say, okay, this is the first, this is second, this is third, this is fourth. So yeah, yeah. So you also have forms. Forms. Mhm. I'm coming now. I'm thinking about something. I don't want you to just I don't want us to just assume that index. Let me check a project. If let me check this. If um, check, check. Okay. I can use this as an example. So um um, okay. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, yeah. So Isaac was right. So we just pass in or Moscow. What once you use an index, then index plus one. You just use it straight like that. So Isaac was right. Yeah. I just wanted us to be sure. Um, let me do this. What is going on? What is going on? Oh, sorry about this. Maybe. Can you also see my screen? Can you see my screen?
It looks frozen right now.
Okay.
I was seeing your screen, but it feels like it's frozen.
Yeah, can you also see my screen now? Mm,
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I'm coming.
okay, I'm going from the train again. What's going on? Let me pull the stubs. Sorry. Yeah. So we have forms. So just like in HTML, React uses forms to allow users to interact with the web page, and you can just add your forms like the way you add forms in HTML1. You can add it just like any other element. So this is just an example of a form that allows users to enter their name. An example of a form that allows users to enter their name. So you can see the way your normal form is form, label, and input. So let's see what it look like. Yeah. So normal form, but the main deal with React is like how to handle inputs and submit. Yeah. So this will work as normal. The form will submit and the page will refresh, but this is generally not what we want to happen in React. We want to prevent this default behavior and let React control the form. So handling forms now. Handling forms is about how you handle the data when it changes values or gets submitted. In HTML, the data is usually handled by the DOM, but in React, forms is usually handled by the components. When the data is handled by the component, all the data is stored in the component state. You can control changes by adding event handlers in the unchanged attributes. Do you remember that event handlers we thought of, like we looked at the first time? That event wherever. So we can use the use state hook to keep track of each input values and provide a single source of truth for the whole application. So we never looked at React hooks, but we'll be looking at it in the next class. Like we stop as forms for today, then we'll look at React router, React router styling, and start hook in next class. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically all the major stuff you need to know in React. I believe you should be able to go like far in React and keep on building on this. So yeah, this is just an example of how to manage the inputs on React and we use the use state. So what this use state just does, I'm just going to run through it now. If you don't understand it now, don't worry. In next class you understand it very well. So what this use state just does is allows you to manipulate what you see already. Like you can change what is here. So you set a state as what you want to set it like your normal variable, and then you create a state as a normal variable, like maybe your name or whatever. Then you can set the state later on. That's what this state just allows you to do. It's a React method. Yeah, just keep that in mind. We'll look at it next class, and maybe look at this forms again after I look at it. So our form, then we have our inputs text, then we have the values to be the value of what we want to store here, what we want to be displayed here. So now the form is currently empty. Like this is the default value of this variable or the state. So that's what will be displayed here. Then on change, we get our event. Then we'll set this variable to what is currently in the event dot target. What is currently the event dot target the value. So let me just show you. It may be quite confusing now, but the time goes on and we practice, you get to understand very well. So now, firstly, we set the state of name, or the state of name is an empty, default state of name is an empty string, so there's nothing here. Then the input is name, so there'll be nothing here. So on change, we are setting name to the events to target the value. So on change, just I type H here. We are setting name to this H. So name is now H, and we're displaying name. So that's what it's displaying here. So if I put I again, we're just setting names to whatever is here, like currently, and that just it. The same thing if I delete, the same if I add lost stuff. That just it basically. Yeah, that just it basically, sure. And submitting forms. So submitting forms, we usually create a handler, and we can sorry. So from you can control the submit action by adding an event handler in the on submit attributes for the form. So yeah, so on submit, you just create an event handler, and what the event handler is what you want to do, like with the data, like when you submit the form, what do you want to do. And sometimes you can just create a function. The event handler is a function actually, but sometimes you can just create like sometimes we don't actually like want to do this, maybe want to do something else, and you don't have to name it and do submit or anything like this. Most of these stuff is just apart from keywords like function, return, const, imports, and the module's name. Everything else can be modified, and your this thing, your HTML tags. Everything else can be modified. So what this just does is the same thing we did with inputs. Then when we click submit, on submit, we want this to take place. Like we want this function or this handler to run. So let's see what is here and enter your name, and on submit, when I click submit, you can see alerts almost called name entered was my name, Tani. So multiple input fields. You can control the values of more than one input field by adding a name attribute to each element. And we initialize our state with an empty object. To access the fields in the event handler, you can use events.target.name and event.target.value syntax to update the state using square brackets around the name attributes. So this just is basically so for multiple events, instead of creating a Moscow, creating a new state for each input. Instead of creating a new state for each input like name, age, and so on. Imagine that like a lot. You can just create an object for them. So you create an input state, then an object for it, then we can now change the name and the value based on the name and so on. Sure. So what you just do is the same stuff, but now instead of just putting username directly, we are going to, since this is an object, we are going to be getting like users.username. And what do you just do, like if there's no username at first, just set it to something empty. Like if there's no input username, set an empty string, and else. I think that will happen after your first change. Is you run through this events handler, do change, and you set it to username, then set value to event target the value, then change it. Then using our spread operators, which we did in I think our second class, just almost go change only that name in the object, the value of that name in the object to be the current value that we have now. And that was it basically. So let's go at an example. So you can see we have two stores here, and if I put Stanley and I see this guy is I'm 4K. Yes, and I put my age and I submit. So it just console logs inputs instead of alerting. So when we submit, the same stuff we did over here. But instead of alerting now, what they just did is the console logged the input. So let me see if I can access this from the console. Try of this is so Tiny 40. submit. So you can see username and age gets displayed here. Then you can do anything you want to do with it. So that's just basically. Then we have text area. So text area element is in fact slightly different from an ordinary HTML. In HTML, the value of text area was between the start tag and the end tag, but in React, the value of text area is placed in a value attribute. We use state hook to manage the value of text area, just like this. Yeah, just like this. So we have the value of text area here, and whenever we change it, just like how we did that previous one for inputs, that's the same thing we just do for here. So the value text area on change and do change and whatever I want to do here. Instead of opening class and closing tag in React, it's just one tag or like component, and just an element, like one element. This is not a component. So this being capital letter. So just one element and whatever I want to do, like the value and on change over here. Yes, so that is basically. And we have our select this thing. Select this just for drop down list, and you can see select and options and whatever. Yes, so we can change the value. You can set the value based on what is selected right now. So the value my car on change handler, what should happen? So set my car into events.target. So what is select? That's what will be what will be displayed. So if we want this, you can see we can change whatever is here. And this is the value my car. So once we click on anything, let's say we click on Fiat, my car changes to Fiat, and that's why my car is displayed. That's why Fiat is displayed here, basically. So yeah, that's it for now. And that's this like we've gone a dots, and yeah, this is used to build a big stuff. So next class we're looking at router and hooks. Yeah, router and hooks. We will do the first set of hooks on Thursday, router, then we'll do the rest in upcoming class. Yeah, so does anyone have any question?
Yeah, yeah. I feel what we are doing is really practical when you project it.
Sorry?
I
I
said what we are really doing is just. I said like, is it really theory we are doing in React, or would it be a practical and practice project?
yeah, so what we're doing here is in class,
Because
I'll just we'll go through everything like the concepts together. Then your assignments, like you go and you build something else with what you learned. But if you get an 5 minutes, you can always like change out that goes. But the aim of this class is just for you to really understand the concept, because some people just start building and building and they don't really understand what this is doing. So if I'm doing something and you see, okay, I get this result doing this thing, and you just copy it down somewhere, and anytime you want to do this, you just copy and paste. Yeah, you achieve what you want to do, but what about if you want to modify it? Like you don't really understand what it's doing. So
I,
you,
I
you
think
get
I'm I think I think we're okay with this method because for me personally, I have a couple of gaps. I learned React in a particular place, and there are like gaps in my knowledge you get. So we going through this is actually filling up the gaps. So I think this is actually okay.
yeah, and even for me too, I'm learning some stuff like I think that's a Moscow index. I made a mistake and not something I really look up, like I really like take note of, just something I just type. But today, when you pointed out, when I think we asked the question, yeah, now we have to like sit down and think about it. That's okay.
Yeah, that I also didn't know that before. That was why I asked about it.
Yeah. So yeah, there are some things that we may not like notice, like when we're just coding or something we just look up online and we don't actually know how this works or how it exactly goes. But your assignment, yeah, we don't really have much to do again. Like after hook, after routers and styling, then hooks, then that's all under this. Then we can start doing practicals. But for your assignments, like yeah, the goal of your assignment will just be to practice what you've learned so far and just put what you've done into practice. Then after that, if there's more time, then you can start looking at practicals. So are you fine with that?
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Yeah. That's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So Abdul Basit, what about you?
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'll cook up your assignments today. I'll send this evening, and today is Tuesday and next class will be on Thursday. So I think I'll start working on it now so that we will be able to submit it Wednesday night at least, then Thursday will be ready to go. So thank you all for joining today. I really appreciate it and wishing you all a lovely day ahead.
Thank you very much.
Uh,
Thank you.
you're
Yeah,
welcome,
thank
man.
you.
Sure, bro.